Okay, in this particular chapter, we'll talk about the concept of variables. Now, this is a new concept that has introduced in GCP. So what we'll first do is in the console, we'll learn about variables. Okay, after we learned about the variables, the next thing that we'll do is we'll create an API that will use this functionality of variables. So we will create a Google Cloud Function API, and this API will use the concept of variables. Now, these variables are especially useful if you're creating APIs which will have variables coming in through the body. So let's see how we can use this. Okay, so I'm back in my console once more. So here you can see the concept of variables. So what I'll do is I'll just write a simple prompt saying, I'll just say write an essay on, and here I'll add a variable. So let's just call this variable as company name. And I can give a value to this company. So let's just call this IBM. Here you can't have any alphanumeric or underscores, or even an empty space is not allowed. So let's cancel this and let's click on save. So here I have written the prompt called write an essay on this variable company which is assigned to this value called IBM. So let's click on run. And here you can see that you get a essay on IBM. So here, if you want to change this value of company from IBM to something else, you can just click on this add variable and change this to something else. So let's say I change this to Microsoft. Click on save. So here now, if I click on this again, here you can see that there's a response which gives you an essay on Microsoft. Now this concept is especially useful if you have these variables coming in as an input from an API. So what we can do is we can click on this get code, and here you can see that there is a code snippet that has been created. So what we'll do is we will use this code snippet, and this time around, instead of using Google Chat to convert this into a Google Cloud Function, we will use another LLM called Claude, which is equally good. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this code and let's go to our Cloud AI. So here in my code, so here I'm in my Cloud AI console. So the URL for this I'll give you in the description below. So I'll just copy paste that code. And here what I'll do is I'll just write convert this into a Google Cloud Function. So here you can see that the code gets generated. So here let's just copy the entire thing. So I'll just copy this entire piece of code. Here you must, and here one thing to note is that you have to give the company input JSON with the key as company. So let's go back to our function. So what I'll do is I'll create a new Cloud function. Now you can also use Claude to convert this particular piece of code into your AWS Lambda or your Azure function. So based on your requirements, you can just give the proper prompt here. So what we'll do is we'll go to our functions again. We'll create a new function. And one thing to note again is you need to give the proper entry point name. So the entry point name is this. So I'll copy this, I'll paste it here. So this looks fine. And the next thing is basically you also need to give this particular AI platform. So here let's go back and let's give this as well. And let's look at everything and see whether it's proper. So everything looks fine. Let's now click on deploy and let's run this. So now here you can see that there is a issue with this. It says that no model is called generative model. So what I can probably assume from this error is that we are using the incorrect library. So let me just remove this and let's try to just get the latest package. Okay, so this time around the function pass. So what I can do here is I'll just pass that the key for this particular JSON should be company. And let's just keep this as IBM. And let's run this. And you can see that you get this response. Now you can change this company name to anything else and it'll give you the value for that particular company. So that is how you can use this concept of variables. So that is how you can create variables and use it in your code. So this code, now this especially makes the code much cleaner than without variables. So that's it for this one, folks. I'll see you in the next.